another terrible day. Unbelievable. The wind's gone, but the rain just keeps on persisting. I don't know how many millimetres we've had, though. Someone was saying we're having about 300 millimetres a day, so a lot of flooding around. But what I'm doing this morning, I'm just heading back up to Jacobs Well. I've got a doctor's appointment up there, so I'm going to head up there and yeah, see about seeing the quack. Just get some blood tests and that done. I'll see how I go. I can probably cancel it if I have to, but I'll get up there. Now that the wind's gone, I can get back up next to Brucey's anyway and get on the pontoon and get off the boat a bit, I suppose. But yeah, it's pretty tragic weather, that's for sure. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. I haven't been the only one hiding up in the mangroves for Cyclone Alfred by the look of it. It's coming through all these little channels across to the main channel. Very high tide this morning, so plenty of water here. I'm not sure, but there's that a break in the weather. It's the first bit of sun we've seen for 3 days, I think. This old palm tree got through Cyclone Alfred okay, a bit draggled, but unfortunately this sign didn't make it. Okay, looks like Alfred has gone a bit further and leaving us alone now, so the cleanup begins. Little bit of damage up in Jacobs Well and no power on here yet. Doesn't worry me on the boat, but what I'm doing, I'm just taking all my anchor chain out and I've got to flake back in. And I've got to flake back in the all of the chain I let out, because I let it all out. So now I've got to get the bit I don't use all the time back in under the locker where it's stored. So let's do that. First thing I've got to do is get all the stuff out of the locker, get down to where the chain sits. Now I've got to get all of this chain back into here, so it's got to come back and get flaked in. Then I'll give it a wash and a bit of a spray with maybe some Lanatec, I think. Give it a bit of a wash off with fresh. Last thing to do is just wind it back on board, I guess. And of course, with all that rain, we do get a little bit of water down in the engine rooms. Not much, but I don't like it being wet down here, so we'll just mop it all out, clean the place up a bit. Okay, one thing I didn't show you when I was setting the sea anchor a few episodes ago, I tied it off on one of these handrails. I've got one of these handrails on each side that I hang fenders on occasionally, and I tied it off here and put far too much strain on it, and I've actually pulled the handrail off and lost it over the side, so we're going to have to repair that. And I'm at Brucey's now, so Bruce has got a little bit of stainless steel. We're going to make a cover to go on there and put a new handrail on, so that's the plan while I'm here. First thing we have to do is go out to Bruce's Bunnings.
Some stainless. I happen to have stainless that I used to use for line marking. That might polish up. They're there, but it's got
Doesn't matter if we lose that little bit, does it? Pretty good. Okay, project for today, we're fitting overheating engine alarms on the motors. Since I installed these engines 25 years ago, the only form of warning the panels have of overheating or oil pressure failure is a red light that comes on. I want to change this to an audible alarm. It'll give me better warning of any conditions like that.
Are you up against the the lid?
I've got about 8 inches of it in, then stop it.
I'll take the lid to you.
The first job in the installation process is to run a couple of 4-core wires down to each engine room. This is probably the hardest part of the job and takes the most time.
Nowhere near it. I think we're going to have to go back and get more cable. That's that one. That's the one I've got.
Is it? Okay, so you need more.
Yep.
Pull it through.
If we're going to be short of cable, we should do the long one first.
Got to be right at the top of that though, hasn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be smack in the centre of it.
Yeah. I'd put that
Just
on
that,
top
just
of
on
the
top of that.
sleeve,
Yeah, okay.
and then put a mark on one.
Right, we'll put a special cutting blade on the drill and hope that we don't rip the timber.
And paint.
Nice and slow. Still looks blunt.
I think it's alright, I'm not pushing too hard, but is there anything underneath we've got to be aware of?
That's a good point.
I might just put a little drill through that. Put a bit of a pilot through, Brucey, and you can see where it comes out.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Good?
Yeah.
What are these gauges going to do actually, Brucey?
Confuse you, Norm.
Wake me up?
Wake up. The idea is to monitor the temperature of the engine at places that we would not normally get temperature monitoring, like your exhaust elbow, and in this case your thermostat housing. So if we break a fan belt or lose water, seawater, you might do a fresh water pump. The first thing is to heat up, going to give you an alarm.
And on the old motors, all it used to happen, if I was overheating, that light would come on. And if you weren't sitting there watching for it,
you'd never know.
You'd never know.
So that's if you broke a fan belt, that would come on.
If you broke a fan belt, yeah. If you did an impeller, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't know, no, that's right.
Yeah. So we're going to monitor both fan belts. If I break a fan belt and lose, if I break a fan belt, I'll lose coolant running through the engine.
That's right.
If I do an impeller, I'll lose seawater that'll stop the heat exchanger working. So this will monitor both, and they should be a good little unit.
Yeah, and
it's got a buzzer on it.
And it's got an alarm. That's right. And you can set that temperature with a set point, so you can actually determine what temperature you want it to trigger at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what we'll end up with is a little buzzer there beside it, and that'll be our finished product.
That looks pretty neat, doesn't it? It's fitted in there quite well, actually.
Yeah.
And the idea of this is if I'm travelling across Bass Strait on my own, which I usually am, when I came across last time, I was pretty lucky, really, when you think about it, because I didn't have any alarm and I was sleeping in 15, 20-minute grabs. They were only grabs, but if I'd been asleep and that red light had come on, I wouldn't have noticed it, of course, and I might have cooked a motor. So with this, for the sake of, I think it was a couple $100, and Brucey's expertise in fitting it, yeah, with this, at least it makes it a lot safer when I do those nighttime passages and you're trying to get a little bit of a sleep. Thing under there now.
All over for the day.
Shower time.
Shower time.
So just finishing off. All wired up, Brucey.
All done.
Just a few cable ties to neaten everything up. We've put all our cable trays back together and we've tested it before we did all this. Last thing to do is just stick the gauges on. We have thought whether we should open them up and try and screw them, but they don't lend themselves to it. And probably this tape will be alright, but the thing about it is we're only pushing buttons on it, we're not pulling and doing anything like that. So I guess this double-sided tape, if I can get the backing off, will be alright. put this on in one go too.
I'll hold that where it needs to go.
Right on the top of there, back a bit, mate. Good. Okay. One.
Lovely, tell your mother.
Yep. Now we just got to screw these down and we're done. What we've done now is started the motors and we're just going to let them warm up to their top temperature. I think it stores that, then we can set it 5 degrees above.
All right, boop, beep. We've had the engine running and we've got the engine up to temperature. We're just going to show you how to adjust the engine alarm. You can see here, this is the temperature gauge. So our engines are already hot and we've been watching what temperature we get up to. So to set your system, when the light is above number 1, that's the temperature of probe 1. If you press 2, that's the current temperature of probe 2. Now if you want to adjust that, we've got probe 1 as our exhaust elbow and probe 2 as our intake manifold or the engine block. So to set the temperature for the the exhaust elbow, which is temperature 1, we press next, next, and that's the light is above temperature 1 and set wire. We hold the set button down until the set light flashes.
Oh, it's flashing all the time, this camera, that's the trouble.
Yeah.
These lights look like they're flashing all the time, but they're not. So
when the set light is flashing, you can then press the next button and enter the temperature that you want the alarm to go off at. Now our temperature on that exhaust elbow was 40 degrees, so we're going to set it that for this exercise until we get to know it, 45. Press the set button again, locks that setting in. So our alarm setting is 45 degrees on probe 1. We pressed next, and this is our set temperature for probe 2. The light is above probe 2, our set light is on. We press set.
Hold it down
for 2 seconds until the set light starts to flash. Then we enter the next to enter our temperature. Now our engine was running at about 66 degrees, so 65 we'll say. So we're going to go 70 degrees. Now we noticed that when we turned the engine off, it actually heated up past 70 degrees. But when it was actually running, it was below 70. Press set again.
That's because the engine's
And that's because the engine's already heated up.
Yeah.
It's actually setting off the alarm.
So that's the alarm. Yeah.
If you press set, you can silence the alarm for 30 seconds.
So that's all set now, so we don't have to do anything with that, do we?
No, that's all set.
Yeah.
So we can turn that off.
Yep.
Turn it
Yeah,
back
you
on.
see it's come back up. Yep.
Yep.
You can see the temperature's risen a bit when we turn the motor off.
Yep.
So we've got the alarm.
Our exhaust temperature has also risen. It's risen up to 41. So, but when the engine's actually running, those temperatures are lower than that.
Yep.
All right, hope that made some sense to you. Hope you've got something out of that.
It's great to have a mate like Brucey, but now it's my turn to give him a hand. His boat's coming out and he's going to be on the hard for a week, and we find something that's a little bit unexpected.
That is good, Norm. That is good.
Let's get dirty, Brucey boy. See you next week, dudes.